If you're training hard, eating what you think is a calorie deficit, doing all the right things, and the scale, the number on the scale is still going up, this video will explain exactly why that is happening. And now, before I get into it, just a fair warning. If you are emotionally attached to the idea that working harder equals fat loss, this video might piss you off. Now, before we get into it, I've coached hundreds of busy men through fat loss, busy professionals, runners, lifters, hybrid athletes. And this literally happened to me over the span of 2 weeks. I was eating the same calories. I increased my running frequency because I'm training for my upcoming marathon, which actually is going to be tomorrow. So wish me luck. And my steps, my daily step target is still the exact same. And my weight over the span of these past 2 weeks have actually gone up. I actually gained 5 pounds while I actually increased my running and kept my calories the same. I did more work, I put in more effort, but the weight, the number on a scale actually went up, which sounds a bit weird, right? Because how's that possible? If you're expending more calories, if you're expending more energy, you should therefore, at least on paper, be losing more, right? That's how it should work, right? Calories in versus calories out. So if this can happen to me, someone who actually understands nutrition and does this for a living, it can absolutely happen to you. Now, by the end of this video, you'll understand why weight can go up despite controlling your calories, despite being in a calorie deficit, and why training harder can often backfire. And lastly, how to tell the difference between actual fat gain, so if the number on the scale is going up, if that's fat, or if that's just fake weight gain. So let's start with point number one. Let's start with this small little thing on your wrist, your watch, whether it's a Garmin, Apple Watch, Fitbit, whatever wearable device you have on your wrist. Let's start with the one thing no one wants to hear. Your Fitbit, Apple Watch, Garmin, they do not know how many calories you burn. It'll tell you a rough estimate every single day, right? Mine usually tells me I burn 3,000 calories every single day. Now, you got to keep in mind that all these companies, they use population averages, movement estimates, and heart rate guesses, and they can often be off by 10, 20, 30%, especially if you're lean and active. So when someone says, my watch just says I burn 3,000 calories, so I'm in a huge calorie deficit, that's usually where the confusion starts. Because wearables, like, they're definitely good for trends to kind of know exactly where you're at with things, but not for precision. So let's move on to the second point, which is the real issue. Most disciplined people increase their output without increasing fuel. So exactly what happened to me. I increased my output. I increased my weekly mileage when it came to running, but I kept my calories the same. So in my case, I was running 20, 30 miles per week, still lifting 6 days per week, and my calories stayed the same. Now, on paper, that looks disciplined, right? It's like, okay, you're just exercising more, keeping the calories the same. You should therefore lose more body fat. But in reality, that's what we call underfueling. I was underfueling myself. And here's how your body tells you that. You'll notice a couple of symptoms, and I wrote these down because these are the ones that I personally went through. Number one is constant thoughts about food. I was very food focused. I was constantly thinking about food. I would wake up in the middle of the night to go pee, which that in itself was also already an issue. But then I could not really fall back asleep because I was just thinking about my breakfast, thinking about what should I eat? Oh, I'm hungry. And I usually am not like that. But because I have honestly kind of been so deprived, my body at least is telling me that, right? So deprived of energy. It just constantly is thinking about the one thing that it wants the most, which is food, energy, fuel. So I was constantly thinking about it. I also had poor sleep. It definitely affects your sleep. If you're underfueled, your body doesn't want sleep. It wants to eat. It wants to fuel, right? That's why you see so many bodybuilders who go through prep as well. Their sleep suffers. They suck at sleep because they're quite literally starving themselves. And you also see the scale fluctuate. and you'll feel wired, meaning that you feel like kind of ready to go to do whatever task at hand, but tired at the same time. Wired, but tired. And these were all the symptoms that I personally went through. And now this is not lack of willpower. That's simply just your biology. It's just how your body works. So when fuel doesn't match your output, your cortisol, which is a stress hormone in your body, goes up. And now cortisol increases your water retention. It disrupts your sleep. It makes weight unreliable. It makes fat loss harder. It is a catabolic hormone in your body, which quite literally means muscle breakdown. And so if you're constantly in a high stress state, which could be due to a number of different reasons, whether it's due to the lack of energy you have, lack of nutrients, or just stress coming from other factors in life, maybe stressful at work, stressful in your relationships, stressful, just whatever, your cortisol will go up and you will start to notice some of these symptoms. And if you start to notice one, if not all of these symptoms that I just listed out, it probably means that your stress is too high and you have to reduce it. You have to look at exactly what is causing it and then try your best to reduce it, because constantly operating in a high stress state, wired but tired, it is not good for longevity, it is not good for performance, and it is not good for your results. You're just putting fat loss on hard mode by operating in this state. And I can tell because I've gone through this myself, not only just now, but when I did my post bodybuilding shows, my cortisol was really high. I try my best to reduce it, but I mean, naturally speaking, if you're in a severe calorie deficit, you're doing hours of cardio every single week, you're resistance training hard, and your food deprived, like there's only so much you can do to really reduce the stress by putting all these things together while running a business, while keeping your social life alive too. Like it is going to be normal for your stress to be somewhat high. But at the very least, if you can try to reduce your stress to some extent, the better off you will be. And now, paradoxically, eating too little can actually make the scale go up when you're in such a high stress state. And this is why so many people say, I'm doing everything right. I'm getting in my steps. I'm doing my cardio. I'm tracking my food. I think I'm eating less calories than I burn. I'm in a calorie deficit, yet the number on the scale is going up. I'm gaining weight. You are not gaining fat. You are retaining water and glycogen because your body is stressed. It is under a stressed state. So here's the fix. If you are going through this right now, you think you're doing everything right, yes, the weight is going up. The fix is going to be carbs. This is where people get uncomfortable. I increased my carbohydrates to around 100 grams above what I normally ate. And guess what happened? My sleep improved, my food obsession dropped, my training felt smoother, and my stress went down. So for context, I was eating around 200 grams of carbs before. Now I'm up to 300 grams of carbs. And for someone like myself, who's in hybrid athletes, I resistance train, I run marathons, like I run a lot of miles throughout the week. My output is very high. I have a high step count. 300 grams of carbs is not high for a hybrid athlete like myself. For someone who is running and lifting, it is often the minimum effective dose. And I was undershooting it. I'll just be honest. Yes, I was undershooting it. And now the goal isn't to eat less forever. The goal is to recover enough for fat loss to actually work. So I talked about myself, but I also want to talk about some of the clients we've been helping, because I have seen the exact same pattern with some of our clients. Guys who are running multiple times a week, they're lifting hard, and they're eating like 1,800, 2,000 calories, and they're stuck. They've been stuck for months. And now when they joined our program, what we did is we actually increased their carbs. We reduced their stress by increasing their carbs. And guess what happened? Their weight dropped, their hunger stabilized, and their energy returned. Not because calories stopped mattering, but because recovery started mattering again. They were actually able to recover from all of the output. Because if you're constantly digging yourself in this hole deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and you're not able to recover from that by underfueling, undersleeping, high stress states, your body is going to be in fight or flight mode. It is going to be in high stress mode. It's going to hold on. It's going to retain water weight. It is not going to help you lose body fat because it has other issues. It's like, hey, dude, like we understand you're trying to lose body fat, but we cannot operate in this state right now. Like you're doing too much. We need fuel. We need carbs. We need fats. We need proteins to actually fuel what you're trying to give us with all the exercise, all the output that you're doing. Your body is literally fighting against you by you doing too much. And so by you either pulling back or actually properly fueling, you'll help your body do exactly what you want it to do, which is losing body fat. Now, here's how you can tell the difference between if you were to gain weight, if that is from glycogen or if that is like actual fat gain. This part is critical. So glycogen weight, this is basically stored carbs within the muscles. Each gram holds around 3 to 4 grams of water, and it can add 2 to 5 pounds pretty quickly, but it can also be reversible pretty quickly, usually within days. So that is why it's also really common to just see your weight fluctuate on a daily basis. One day you may wake up 2 pounds heavier. The following day you may wake up 2 pounds lighter. Like these fluctuations, daily fluctuations, they happen and they're normal and they're actually to be expected. And that is why for all of our clients and you watching as well, don't be too concerned with the daily fluctuations. Be more so concerned about the weekly and the monthly fluctuations. If your goal is fat loss and the number on a scale is not going down on a weekly or monthly basis, then yeah, you got to make some changes. But if you're seeing those small little ups and downs, don't panic. That is normal. Just like the stock market, right? The stock market has fluctuations. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up and then it goes down. But over time, just given the economy, it eventually goes up, right? Ever since whatever, the stocks have always just gone up, at least the good ones, right? Make sure you invest in like safe stocks. S&P 500 is usually a good bet. VIO and VTI, those are my favorites. Anyway, besides the point. So a couple signs of glycogen weight could also be fuller muscles, better pumps in the gym, stable waist, and the weights will still kind of fluctuate, the number on the scale. And now fat gain requires a sustained surplus, and it happens slowly, and it doesn't disappear in days. And your waist measurement usually increases. So here's a general rule of thumb. If fast weight changes, if you notice fast weight changes, it is usually just water weight. But if it's slow, it is usually fat. Now, if the scale goes up while sleep improves, your hunger calms down, and performance improves, you're not getting fatter. You are just finally fueling enough. The body is not broken. It is protecting itself. Now, if this video helped, hopefully it did, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. And if you want help dialing this in without guessing, what you can go ahead and do is schedule a free consultation call with me down below, where we'll essentially go over your current goals. We'll see exactly how much weight you're looking to lose. We'll go over your current struggles. Maybe you are doing too much right now. Maybe you are doing too much cardio. Maybe your step count is too high. Maybe you are eating too less food, too little carbs, too little fats, too little protein. Maybe you are under fueling. Who knows? But we're going to see exactly what's holding you back right now, and we'll create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush your goals within the next 3 to 6 months. If that sounds good to you, the link will be in the description down below, and I'll see you all there. Peace.